Can you beat every boss in Elden Ring in alphabetical order? Hello, the name's Pint, and I want to break Elden Ring as much as f***ing possible. However, there's one teensy problem. I've never actually beaten Elden Ring before. Anyway, because this game technically has like a billion bosses, I've narrowed it down to those that give an achievement on kill, some of which are locked behind NPC quests, area progression, and of course, other fucking bosses. But hold on a minute, folks. Daddy has some rent to pay. I'm Daddy, by the way. Today's video is sponsored by Opera GX, the browser designed by gamers for gamers. Unlike other browsers, Opera GX lets you fine-tune your performance settings to be optimal for gaming, guaranteeing minimal lag and high frame rates for those nights where you're playing your favorite game and watching your favorite streamer both at the same time. And if that's not enough for a greedy little scoundrel like you, Opera GX also allows you to install mods to customize your browser any way you want. If you need to forget the horrors for a moment, you could pick a nice relaxing theme. Or if you need to enhance the horrors further, you could do that too, I guess. Mods can even have different background music and little sounds whenever you do things, which really adds to the vibe. And if there's a part of a mod that you don't like, you can easily disable it in the mods menu. But I know what you're thinking. Pint, marry me. To which I say, back up, I'm trying to do an ad here. Switching browsers is a lot of work, right? Wrong. Opera GX has a nifty quick import tool, allowing you to quickly copy over all of your bookmarks, cookies, and even your browser history. Yeah, we didn't forget about your browser history, buddy. If you're a real gamer, download Opera GX today with my link in the pinned comment below. So, I made my alphabetically accurate character and began my conquest. So I went around, got the essentials, you know, Dectus Medallion, +3 weapon, the stone that reveals my innermost thoughts.
You're beautiful.
Cruised on down to the Sofria River and prepared to take on the first boss. Now, I was a bit rusty, but I took it down no problem. And now, the run gets fucked up and deranged. The next boss was a cute little guy called... conveniently accessed through the godforsaken Lake of Rot. To prepare for this battle, I gathered some more cool little magic items, because melee wasn't going to cut it. Can you guys tell that I like magic? Now, smart viewers will notice that I can't actually access the Lake of Rot without killing Radahn outside of alphabetical order. But what if I told you there was another way? In Elden Ring, there's a glitch called a rung warp. If you teleport from one area to another, and in the loading screen force quit your game at the right moment, you can trick the game into spawning you at a different loading point within the same zone. And from here, I can get to the Lake of Rot. Yeah, it turns out there's 2 mandatory bosses that block your way. And, spoiler alert, Valiant Gargoyles is pretty late in the run. Cool. Plan B. A second way to the Lake of Rot is through Ranni's questline. However, in order to get to Ranni, we'd need to kill Royal Knight Loretta. Fuck me. Introducing... zipping. By blocking and walking forward at the same time, you can do this. So I figured, if I turn myself into a human slingshot, maybe I can get across this gap and access Ranni. However, it requires not 1, but 2 frame-perfect inputs. And it requires a stable 60 frames per second. And my PC, illustrated here, can't do that. So, despite making my game look like RuneScape, my FPS just wasn't stable enough. And if this absolutely essential glitch was literally impossible to do, that would be bad. So I had 2 options. Spend thousands of pounds on a new PC, or I could cheat a tiny bit. I installed a script to do the inputs for me. But don't worry, I still suffered. Because even with the script doing the input perfectly every time, in 1 hour it only worked twice, further cementing how impossible this would be to do manually. But after a couple different spots and plenty of perseverance, this happened. Let's fucking go! And now I could finally access the Lake of... Oh. The door's closed. No matter. By spending a mere 2 hours perfecting this jump that results in 6 seconds of video, I could bypass Renna's locked door, steal her clothes, and finally access the Lake of Rot. I quickly made my way down to the fog wall, ready to take on the second boss. So I decided to add an extra rule to this run. I wasn't gonna level up my health stat at all, since the image of a true mage is that of a huge, throbbing brain. sitting atop a malnourished and wrinkly body. Meaning, pretty much anything the boss did would atomize me on the spot. Oh no! However, despite my low level and his gaunt appearance, there is a very effective way to kill Estelle. Throwing rocks at him. Just like the Bible. And without much trouble, he's down. And luckily, the run was about to get much easier. The next boss was fucking Commander Neil from the mountaintops of the Giants. However, glitching to the top of a mountain wasn't as bad as it sounds. It was worse. I spent hours trying out different spots, waiting for the glitch to work, and then dying. I'll save you the whole rigmarole, but eventually it worked. Kinda. I'd made it to the consecrated snowfields, which is closer, but it's not the mountaintops of the Giants. But unfortunately, I didn't know exactly where I was. I didn't know where the nearest grace was, and dying meant I'd have to repeat the glitch again. So, better not do that. But wait. By some miracle, I died within range of a stake of Marika. This had to be a sign. It was as if Miyazaki himself was smiling down upon me. I shan't disappoint you, Father. I was able to locate the grace after a very stressful walk, locked the fuck in, and found a nice little spot to fling my ass up to the mountaintops of the Giants. Yay. I scurried on down to Castle Sol, ran past all the nefarious little creatures and started fighting the boss. Unfortunately, he had a couple goons, which makes fighting him at low levels rather challenging. I tried, and tried, and tried, and then gave up. It seemed impossible if I could just find a way to kill his goons. And so I did something, my dear viewer, that I came to regret deeply. I resorted to foul magics. Boys, the plan is simple. I position myself at an acute angle. Neil begins to summon his guards.
Terra Magica increases magic damage by 35% while standing within the runes.
I drink my wondrous physic, imbued with the
Cerulean Hidden Tear, granting me infinite mana for 15 seconds.
And finally, I cast
Comet Azure! A powerful beam of pure magic! The first summon is vaporized! The second approaches, leaving just me and the commander.
Oh, shit. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't think he'd die that fast, and I don't think it'd be a good video if I just went around one-shotting everything. So don't worry. I don't want to make a habit out of destroying every boss. Next up was the Dragonkin Soldier of Noxtel. Okay, he's dead. He's dead then. Wow. Looks like the run really was starting to get easier. So the next boss is in a floating city in the fucking sky. I head on over to the 4 Belfries and activate the first portal. This takes me to a floating rock outside of Farum Azula. But from here, we can wrong warp again. We close the game at the right moment and then end up at the start of Farum Azula, running through until we reach the Godskin duo. But we can't fight them yet. So we sneak around back and spend the next 20 minutes or so trying to bend the fabric of reality again. We make the glitch, skedaddle on down to the site of grace, and are ready to face the next boss. This is an extremely late game boss, having one of the highest health pools in the game and one-shotting me with every single attack. Even the one where he puts lightning on your little feet. But he was teaching me the first important lesson I'd learn in this run. When you die in one hit, you're forced to learn the boss's moves intimately. So since my health didn't matter, I stripped away everything that wasn't essential. It was all about the mental state, because there's nothing more dangerous than a naked guy with a stick. And I have 2 sticks. I was starting to get good again. I could feel it. I was beginning to resemble the heroes of Eld. Before long, I'd identified the correct solution to each move. Cast, cast, cast. Roll, drink, roll, cast again. For as intimidating as he was quite predictable. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's Game over. I died. Oh no. Restart? Restart? Would you like to restart? Now one could say a big fuck-off laser move that instantly kills you is a bit problematic. But this is me we're talking about here. Instead of simply dealing with the move like an adult, I baited Placidrus X to fly into a wall, so that when he flies into me, I can just sit behind him. And that's just called strategy, baby. And so the Dragon Lord was defeated. There's just something so rewarding about fully understanding a boss's moveset. It's why I love these games, and it never gets old. Well, only 26 more bosses to go. Element of the Briar gets destroyed, and I make my way to the Fire Giant. And let me tell you, you could not drag me away from those puppies if you tried. And phase 1, low-key easy. Oh my god. Look at how big and immobile he is for me. Should I? No, I mustn't.
And now, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Miku
Okay, I'm sorry, it's too overpowered. No more Miku Beam for the rest of the run, I promise. Anyway, Elden Ring is notorious for certain letters, creating some distinct zones. Ladies and gentlemen, we were about to enter the G-Spot. First, we needed to get to Godfrey. By going to the Weeping Peninsula and opening the trap chest, we could very easily access Lendel. Now, with just the cheekiest of wrong warps, we find ourselves at the start of the city. We enjoy a leisurely stroll through the capital, reach Godfrey, and subsequently take him out fairly easily. However, Mr. President, there is a second Godfrey. However, he is 100% impossible to do alphabetically, since technically he shares a room with Morgoth. So unfortunately, I dub that the first failure of the run. And it's definitely going to be the last. For Godric, I had to find a way to skip Margit. And looking around, I couldn't find a spot where I could glitch into Stormvale Castle. This could be really bad. If this many bosses were undoable this early in the run, then I'd probably have to call it. I needed an idea, and fast. But it just so happened there was one right in front of me. Since Margit hadn't been spawned, there was no fog walls yet. So recklessly, I just decided I'd kind of launch myself through the middle. Of course, if Margit spawned, the fog walls would appear, thus giving me only one chance to succeed. Alright, fuck planning, we ball, I wing it, I ball. Let's just say I was a little over-leveled for Godric by now. I command thee, kneel. The next few bosses were pretty easy. There's a fight called Godskin Duo. I don't know if you remember it, but I just kind of did it first try. Godskin Noble was also really easy. I wouldn't mind if they made this fight harder, like if they had a second guy you have to fight at the same time. By the end of the day, I was just toying with the Leonarmus Begotten. Ugh, who's next? Lich Dragon Fortisax. I've actually never heard of that boss before. I searched the details, which I probably should have done before starting the run, and realized he requires an NPC questline to be fought. Most of the steps were easily doable, but there was two seemingly impossible hurdles. Somehow glitching to the top of this tower, and somehow getting to the Deeproot Depths without killing Moog or the Valiant Gargoyles. At first, I tried just zipping up the Divine Tower, and it seemed pretty doable actually. But pretty soon I theorized on an even easier solution. I did Rani's questline up until she asked me to kill Radahn. Then I went to Noxtella via the wrong warp from earlier, and with some glitching I acquired the Fingerslayer blade. I then went back to Rani and gave her the blade, progressing her questline. I guess the game just assumes I killed Radahn. Anyway, she gives you the inverted statue, giving you access to the top of the tower. The Deeproot Depths, however, were a different beast. I tried zipping from the Ansel River, mate. I tried zipping through the boss room. I tried glitches from old Souls games to break the death camera, but nothing worked. I discovered that an old version of Elden Ring had a glitch that made this possible, but it kind of felt like cheating to do that. I even reached out to an Elden Ring speedrun moderator, and he said it was impossible. For days, I tried to find new glitches, something that would get me there somehow. But eventually, I had to face it. Truly, all that stood between me and the perfect run was Moog and a few solid brick walls. Giving up really took my confidence down a peg. I considered glossing over this part of the video or trying a new challenge entirely. But then I realized, this taught me something valuable. Sometimes challenges aren't about succeeding, they're about trying your best and knowing you did all you could. To cast yourself into the unknown, not knowing if it's possible, and taking the loss in stride if so. I began thinking about how this video's style and shift in content was quite unknown for me too. How in more ways than just an Elden Ring challenge run, I was trying something I didn't know I would succeed in. And so something changed in me after this boss. Something changed in me after the L Zone. I made short work of the next couple bosses, and I decided to make that change. I would put down my staff, put down the old way of doing things, and face the unknown head on, no matter how hard it was or how long it took. And then it was time for her.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. Heed my words. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola, and I have never known defeat.
I am Pint, and I am very familiar with defeat. My name is Pint. Hey Melania, Pint here. I am Pint the Wizard. I may have been dying within seconds, but I was more motivated than ever before. Until eventually, I was able to start reading her moves. I should probably dodge this. This combo ends with a quick slash. It's unpunishable. Stay out. Same combo but ends in a long slash. Rock and roll. Spacing myself perfectly to manipulate her AI, but all my attempts would still end in death. Mommy? I spent the next 3 days thinking of nothing but Melania. It felt like a millennia had passed. While sleeping, I would dream of her, and she'd be killing me. While cooking, I would be watching Let Me Solo Her on my phone, downloading his every move into my nervous system. I wasn't just determined, I was obsessed. But the result? After 3 straight days of failing repeatedly, I had developed a profound understanding of the fight. Every move I would know how to dodge, how to punish. And to think all these hours of playing Souls games, and I had never understood a fight so deeply before. My decision to take a new approach was beginning to pay off. No more fear, no more panicking. All that remained was an unrelenting will to see it through, and the faith that I could. However, there was one thing I'd yet to master. One move that stood above all the rest.
Let your flesh be consumed by the scarlet rot.
I still had one trick left up my sleeve. How to dodge waterfowl dance. Reddit. Yes, I understand. That looks so easy and doable. Alright, you want to see how it's done? Observe. She jumps into the air. I die. Wait. Okay, let me try again. And now that I could dodge this attack, it was time for phase 2.
The scarlet bloom flowers once more. You will witness true horror. Now, rot.
But don't let those big wings and really naked body distract you. Most of phase 2 was the same familiar dance from before. I was weaving in and out of her attacks without even thinking about it. I felt good. I felt like all of the effort I put in was worth it. I felt like I had mastered the fight. And that feeling got me drunk. I was elated. I was on cloud 9. Nothing could stop. What's she doing? Wait, stop. What's she doing? Looks like I'll have to use my special move. Works every time. She begins a waterfowl dance. Fear not, I've just spent the past 2 weeks playing Elden Ring, so I'm very good at avoiding women. Future Pint here. That was just a joke, guys. Women actually like hanging out with me quite a lot. I was growing weary as I was nearing the end of the fight. Her health was low, and I mean really fucking low. But as low as she was, I had to trust my knowledge of the fight and not get greedy. I had to wait for the perfect moment. A moment like that. And now that she was defeated, nothing could stand in my way. God damn it! Ow, my fucking hand. Okay. Malekith is also a difficult fight. However, if you stacked 3 Malekiths on top of each other, Malenia would still have more health.
That's one squishy puppy.
Moreover, I quickly discovered that I could manipulate his AI, and thanks to my experience with Malenia, I was learning significantly faster, and that felt really good. Phase 2 did not feel really good. So, I upped my stagger damage and threw on a Hornet's Ring, then blissfully shredded through Phase 1. I mean, like, oh, look at this. He's getting owned. Then when Phase 2 came around, this happened. Alright, let's see. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna hit this guy a couple times. I'll go around stabbing him in the face. Oh shit, my sword's stuck. Let me pull that out there. Let's see. Probably gonna hit him again. Yeah, that should do it. So yeah, that's basically Malekith. But it was at this moment the game decided to throw another curveball. Regardless of everything you've done before, when Malekith dies, the Erd Tree is burned. And with the capital turning to ash, Morgoth is completely erased from existence. But despite Morgoth's absence, Margit is still alive. Margit is no longer alive. I was a bit overleveled for this bozo. And we teleport to the Nokron Grace again. And it... Oh my. Who's that pretty little thing with the granite head and the forlorn eyes? Shit, this guy's good. I find the portal to the Mogwin Palace, give a quick hello to the Albinaurics, and then mosey on up to... I fucking hate Moog. I fucking hate him, dude. And you know, he's a hard boss. I'm not gonna deny that, but he's just such a fucker about it. He's like, ah! Oh, you thought that was an attack? Nah, I'm just kidding. When he's not attacking, he's just fucking standing there. And I can't attack him from neutral, so I just have to wait for him to do something. But if I walk into melee range, he gets so fast, and he says sex, dude. He says sex. Sex. His entire lore is that he kidnapped a child. He just has creepy uncle vibes, man. Fighting him was not fun. A big part of his moveset are these fire puddles that he leaves on the ground. Ow, owie, owie, ow, ow. Every fiber of my being wanted to go back to my arcane ways and atomize his bitch ass. Because when I died to Malenia, it was like... Slay Queen? God forbid a girl have hobbies. But every time Moog killed me, it felt like the kid on Xbox Live actually did fuck my mum last night. And he was one of the reasons I couldn't get to the Deeproot Depths. One of the biggest failures of the run. And for that, I had no remorse. I decided to use the rock that makes gay people fall over. Nihil! Nihil! And now to enter the DLC. Haha, just kidding. This video will definitely be out before it releases. And wouldn't you know it, the next boss is also Moog. How's it going, man? So next I had to kill Godfrey. And again, you gotta kill Grandpa out of order. But let's be honest, old people shouldn't really exist in the first place, right? But luckily, he's an easy fight, and I didn't die a single time.
I'm going to the top ropes, Tarnish! No, don't go to the top ropes!
So this is it. It's time to face the boss that made me quit Elden Ring so long ago. But these swords won't do. I needed a blade, fit to slay a god. For him, I needed something special. I thought back to what I'd learned about glitches this run. The quirks of zipping, the odd ways NPC questlines worked. And with all that newfound knowledge, I hatched a plan. I made my way to Liania of the Lakes and identified a strange rock. I took aim and prepared to launch myself into the horizon. And with the final zip that I would use in this whole run, I had made it to the Moonlight Plateau. I ran up the hill, descended into the basement. I knew what I was searching for would be here. 7 years ago, when I beat my first Souls game, I was using one weapon. And 1 year ago, when I quit Elden Ring, I was using one weapon.
You were at my side all along. My true mentor. My dark moonlight.
Now, I was ready to face him. Now I could touch the barrier and get fucking flashbang. Oh my god. Radagon of the Golden Order. As I learned his patterns, I was amazed. But not with his difficulty. I was amazed because this guy made me quit the game. He staggers every 2 seconds. You can jump over like every attack. I mean, he's not a pushover, but the way I could feel the flow of the fight, it felt easy. Could this be it? Did I finally get good? Or maybe Radagon's really easy, guys. Hate this fight. He's always running away and using unavoidable moves. They have got to add a way to ride Torrent in here, man. Or at least that's what I would say until I started this challenge run. Maybe it was my newfound skill, or maybe it was my really overpowered sword, or maybe it was a mix of both. But whatever the reason, the fight was just clicking with me now. Your silly ring move? Ha! I know what a jump button is now. Oh heavens, is that Elden stars? Neutralized by my bubbles here. You are nothing. Not even a god can stand in my way.
This is it. A chance to prove myself. I have died 1,000 times. And now, it's your turn!
And now, if you'll excuse me, I have a run to finish. My thirst for blood brought me to Radahn. He would be the next to face my unrivaled skill and my +10 weapon with 74 intelligence. The Red Wolf of Radagon, the Royal Ancestor Spirit, Renala of the Full Moon, all would fall before my blade. And with Renala defeated, I could finally achieve my peak form. Royal Knight Loretta falls, meaning I could finally access Rani legitimately. Might be a little late for that though. Even Rykard. Wait, you're telling me this rusty old spear requires strength? Ugh, fine! I felled the Great Serpent with my absolutely revolting strength. Back to intelligence. I am never doing that again. Until finally, the last pathetic excuse for a challenge fell to my hand. The valiant gargoyles were defeated. 32 bosses in alphabetical order, kind of, sort of. As I rested at the sight of grace, a sense of peace washed over me. I thought of all the reasons I started this run in the first place. To give myself a reason to try a new type of content. To buy a $450 real-life Moonlight Greatsword. To scan the textures onto a 3D model and suddenly the whole purchase becomes tax deductible. To finally say that after all this time, I could do it. As scary as it is to try something new, just focus on going from A to be. Press on, tarnished. You have fight in you yet. And don't you dare go hollow.
Hey guys, don't mind the gun. I just released some new merch. You don't have to buy it or anything. Don't mind the gun. It's really cool. I worked really hard on it. Don't mind the gun. Also, while I'm at it, might as well plug my Twitch stream. Don't mind the gun. I'm not going to do anything with it. You're going to buy the merch and watch my streams, right? So there's not going to be any problems. There's not going to be any issues rising, is there? Go to my fucking